Thanks, Twin Flame lovers. Dr. Amanda Noelle, the Twin Flame Matchmaker. Are you struggling with not finding the right person because you feel separate? You feel alone, you feel isolated. You're gonna learn how to overcome your single loneliness so that you can call in your true twin flame. So stay tuned. A few years ago, I was spending my Halloween decorating my two little dogs as pumpkins, and I went for a walk alone watching all these kids trick-or-treating, and I was like, I'm alone, I'm single, it's my favorite day of the year, one of them, and why the frick am I single? And it wasn't only single, it went beyond that. It's why didn't I have people surrounding me in my life? Looking back, I realized that I chose that experience. I chose to surround myself with canines instead of people because I was going through a death and rebirth process. What is loneliness and where do we find it? We find loneliness when we die. We find loneliness when we're born. We come in and out alone here, people. It is part of the most beautiful birth process where it's just us and the divine. And what happens in many of our death and rebirth cycles is we freak out. We go, ah, do not leave me. And then we create things like really traumatic births where we can't breathe and the umbilical cord is wrapped around us, or we create really traumatic deaths where we're shot in the heart and we're like, ugh, or something like that, versus the perfect death where you're just like, oh, white light, this is great, this is awesome. So really, loneliness is meant to be healed by standing in your power when you're alone, by loving solitude, and really remembering that you're never alone because there is the forces of the universe all around you. We are all one, so you're really with all things when you're alone. You're with the Almighty. So helpful to have a deep spiritual connection to God, to oneness, universe, goddess, whatever you call the Almighty Supreme Being. When you go into those fits of I'm alone on a holiday, or I'm alone on a Friday night, or you're just feeling freaking lonely, why is it that you're not finding your divine partner? Pull the plug on those thoughts for just a moment. Create a sacred space of meditation in the moment and really delight in your connection with the Creator. Your Creator, which is partially you because you mirror each other. You are created in the reflection of your Creator and you are creating your own reality. Honor that you've created this and ask yourself, how can I make this a little more fun? How can I make it a little bit more pleasurable? How can I make it something that you learn from? How can you create your life as a pleasure temple when you are in solitude? So if your home doesn't feel amazing for you to be spending time alone in, how can you create a meditation area? Or how can you maybe make your bathroom the most beautiful spa? Go out and buy some Himalayan bath salts or some special candles. Claim your solitude. Now, it doesn't mean that you're never gonna go back to that party girl, or you're never gonna go back to that family person, but right now you might be in a bit of a twin flame separation cleanse where you as a soul know that you're one with one other soul, and you also know that you're one with God on some level, but where you're experiencing the false separation. So these two are gonna mirror each other, you and your divine partner, you and your divine partner above, where you feel cut and separate from that part of yourself. You will experience that in all areas of your life. So if you can reconnect with yourself and the divine and understand that this is time to really soak in the bliss of the experience of the illusion of separation, then you will find a charge, a power, a force that will take you from this single, lonely, sad girl to this uber magnetic, sexy, carefree, loving, abundant, overflowing with freedom and peace and centeredness, delicious, high-heeled priestess. So you can see the difference between a woman who's coming from, I gotta go online, I'm so lonely, I don't have anybody to go to the wedding with this weekend, what can I do? And you're not coming from your place of deep divine wisdom. You're getting in your head. You're like, how can I find a guy who's 6'4", who has this type of body, who has this kind of lifestyle, who believes in the same things as me spiritually, who can blah, 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 fit into this? Your twin flame will show up in divine perfection as he or she is. It comes out perfectly every time, even if you don't think it's right. I've had soulmate clients where I matchmake them so fast and they go, whoa, I wanted somebody who was a little richer, a little bigger, a little smaller, a little taller, a little more spiritual, a little bit less internationally traveling. But this person brings them to the perfect places in their life where they're meant to learn, heal, and grow. So when you're in your solitude, you will have the opportunity to absolutely fall in love with yourself. So you feel so amazing that when you have this twin flame show up where you're like, I thought that he would be a 7-figure millionaire. Instead, he is not quite there yet, and he's 9 years younger than I expected him to be. Jack. And then you realize, oh my gosh, this is perfect. You'll live a long life together and die next to each other, holding hands like in The Notebook. Who cares if he didn't make 7 figures because he's helping you out on your soul purpose mission and he's making lots of good money now, a year later. So brush those thoughts away. But also, when you love yourself so much that it almost doesn't matter who your partner is, you're like, oh great, that person over there that I'm not attracted to and there's this and that wrong with them. You're still open in your heart. You're still listening. You're still connected to spirit because we have that invisible world that's speaking, knowing, trusting. And then we have that ego that's like, no, it's got to be like this. Now, you do have to listen. Are you attracted? Are you feeling it in your body? Are you feeling it in your heart? Is your spirit saying yes? But you won't be able to gauge that if you haven't healed your loneliness first. When I work with clients who are coming from loneliness, they've often gone so sour that they start going to the other side. They get rigid. They get super picky. I know that's not you. They start having these very high standards that are like, you know what? I've been single for so long that I deserve to have someone really perfect up here. But then there's this gap between like where they're really vibrating at, which is pain, single doom, sadness, isolation, etc., and this like airy-fairy fantasy world. So it's kind of a balance because it can be really depressing to only date people when you're in that space, when you're just like, I need someone up here, and you're not finding anybody up here. It's hard to date someone where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm only dating people that are totally ineligible according to my list. They have nothing. Spend time alone, filling yourself up, getting in your pleasure and your bliss. And you'll automatically, like clockwork, coming out of the woodwork, find an incredible partner from the place of you being full. The beauty of this, and the beauty of my work as a twin flame matchmaker, is I don't have to match you with Joe Schmo, Bob, Bill, etc. You can find your own twin flame magically when you work on clearing your isolation, your separation, your loneliness. Now, this is easier said than done. There is a lot of pain. I spent 5 years healing like my barfing heart that was just like coughing up blood, like, totally painful, heartbreak. And so I went into some really sensitive places, some really difficult times. Now, if you're there, I would not recommend that you just jump and assume that you can do it easy peasy overnight on your own. Do get support. It's that fine balance between staying the path in your own center and finding the richness, the support, the tribe, the community, the resources, so that you can call in your divine partner. I want to honor you. It's not easy. Sometimes it's blissful. Sometimes there were some really low points. So really do get the support that you need. Thank you so much for joining me. Join me for the next step if you're ready. We have a Twin Flame Love Blocks Melting webinar. So you can click the link above or below. You're gonna learn how to melt some of the biggest love blocks out there. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and subscribe if you want some more juicy complimentary love videos. I will see you soon. Namaste, namaste.